Hello, and today we're going to be creating the simple eye, and I'm going to start off with a sphere, and I'll work from the front view. So I'll create my sphere right there, and then I'll rename it in the channel box. Just take it to 0, 0 over there, and then I'll just rename this sphere and call it maybe 0, 1. Oh, sorry. So I'll rename it and call it the outer eye. Just call it outer. And then I'll duplicate it in place, Control D. And this other one, I'll call it inner. So the inner eye, yeah. And then I'll hide the outer, just create a layer for it over there, and then hit V. Now, for the inner now, for the inner eye, I'm just going to come to the side view, and depending on how big I want my iris to be, I'll just come in here and pick my faces. Just make sure you marquee select them all the way there, and then from there I'm just going to extract those faces. I'll just come over here and just click on this, or better still, come over here and come down all the way and find extract. So do that, and you're going to have a group with these two in there. Now once you have those two, I'm just going to select this one, the one I've just extracted, and I'm going to center its pivot, or just change its pivot all the way to this area over here. So let's click on that and hit on D and just bring this one over here just to change the pivot center somewhere around there. And then along the the Z scale, I'm just going to put a minus value, so -1, so that now what we get is something like so. Right, now once we have something like this, I'll just select the inner part, this area we've just flipped, and then I'll just go to mesh display reverse, so that now what we are having is something like that. Let me get rid of the grid over there, so something like that. Then next I'll combine both. I'll just select both of them, both of this, and just combine them, mesh combine. All right, but these vertices here are not yet merged, so I need to merge those vertices first. So I'll just come to my side view, go to wireframe, and as you can see, there's a slight they are overlapping slightly, these two surfaces here. They overlap, there's a slight overlap over there. So but not to worry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these vertices here, all right, all these ones here, all right. And if you check on this view, you notice selected them round like that, and then all I need to do is merge them. So I'll just come to merge, the settings of merge, and I'll put something like 0.05. Normally you'll find it at something like that, but I'll put it at 0.05, and then I merge. All right, and by doing that, if I go back to object mode and smooth this by hitting 3 on my keyboard, and then I have something like that. So next I need to insert a few edge loops just to get this one, to make this edge slightly harder than it is right now. So I'll just come over here to mesh tools and insert edge loops. So I'll insert an edge loop somewhere there and another one somewhere around there. Okay, and once we have that, if I smooth it now just by hitting 3, that's what I get. Let me hit 1, go back to this, and then I want to work on this area of the pupil. So I'll just come in here and select those faces on the pupil here. Just click out here. I need these ones here, so I'll use the paint select, hit B on your keyboard and move your mouse towards the left just to get this one going. So there we are, and just select those ones. Now once I select these ones here, I need to extrude them towards the inside, so I'll use this view here, okay, and hit on Control E just to extrude, and let's extrude it towards the inside over here, something like that. Somewhere there is fine. All right, and normally, let me go back a bit. Once I've hit extrude, I just come back to this so that when I move this towards the z-axis, you notice it doesn't flare up, it doesn't scale up as we go. So I'll just use this. I just hit on extrude, then I come back to this and move it in somewhere there. And then once I reach there, what I need to do at this point is I need to detach those faces on the inside, these faces over here. So I just come here to edit mesh and just detach them, all right, so that they are separate over there. Just make sure they are close enough for that. Then scale them up a bit like that from the center, somewhere there. And once that is done, all I need to do now is again add some edge loops so that I support these areas over here. So I'll come in here to mesh tools and then insert some edge loops. So I'll start from this area here and another one from that area somewhere there. And now, should I smooth what you're having is something like that for a nice cartoony eye. Now, after having this, next what I need to do is I need to start creating the textures. So I'll need several textures. So I'll just come over here and the hyper shade, and then I create a few textures. So I'll use Arnold and come to my shaders, and then I'll find an AI standard surface, and then I'll just name them as I go. I'll just name them as I go. So this one will be the white, sort of the eye ball itself over there. All right. And then from there, let me just clean that. I need another one for maybe the iris. So this is going to be the iris. And then we need the pupil as well. So still standard surface. So this one is going to be the pupil. And then I clear that as well. And finally, we have the reflective part of the eye, and just come in here and I'll just call it eye reflect, eye underscore reflect. All right, I'm sure they have better names than that, but so far that's what you're going to have. Now, next, let me just close that. I'm going to start applying those materials on what I have over here. And I just come over here, just hit one, and I'll just come to assign existing material, and I'll start with a white color. All right, I'll start with a white color. I can click on that and this just to see at least what we're doing. And then I'll come and on the pupil in here, the pupil itself, I'll just pick the faces on the inside. So I'll just come here on the inside. Let me use that. Just double click on this. And then I assign existing pupil. Okay. And then finally, this area here, I need to assign the iris itself. So I'll just come in here and select this face, then hold shift, double click the next so that it picks the ring like that. So double click over there, then click on this, double click. I'm holding shift as I go. So click here, double click on that, and these ones on the inside again, and these one over here like that, just holding shift. And then once I have that, I think that's good enough. Let me hit 3 and see. Yeah, it reaches there. So I think I also need this one here. So hold shift and just click and double click like that, so that I have the whole of that. And this is the iris. So I just come in here and assign existing iris. And on top of that, before I deselect, I need to UV map this along the z-axis here, a planar UV along the z-axis here. So I'll just come to UV planar with this one still selected, z-axis, and then just project, and that's that. Now we are good. Now we can actually start to work on the textures themselves. So, and once I have that, let me just come and select my eye there and come to edit delete by type history, so that we just get rid of the history. And then I'll come with it still selected, come to attributes, and now I have all my textures over here. You can see the white is there. Let me remove the specular, so I'll just put roughness to 1 and this to black, no problem. Yeah, that's fine. And then I come to pupil, which again, roughness, I don't want any rough, I just put roughness to 1 and this one to black and not to 0. Roughness of 0 is going to be very shiny, but of 1, but later on we might have a tutorial on texturing, but for now just follow that. And the base color here, let me just throw this weight to 1 and just throw that to black over there for the pupil over there. So let me remove these and just have these on so that I can see the texture that I'm working on. This one is using default texture. This one is showing the texture in case you have an image. So now next we come back and see the iris. Now here is where we have some work. So that one there, the weight of this one, just pick that one over there. And now under color here, under the color, I'm just going to take this to 1. But under the color over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that and I'm going to apply a ramp. Here it is, a ramp. So apply a ramp. And you notice our ramp looks a bit funny, okay? And because we UV mapped, now it's going to appear nicely. So our ramp now we need to change. Instead of a V, we make it a circular ramp, and we have that. So just add some of this until we get what we want over here. Maybe add another one over there. Just click and add, and I just make it black over there. And then I add another one over here. Just make it white over there, so that I can easily bring these up. And let me click on that so that I can see how far I'm bringing it. Maybe there. And another white one somewhere there. And out here I just make them black. Just 2 more. This one is black. And the final one here, I just give it a black color like that. And I can easily bring them in, as you can see, like that. Let me hit on 3. Let me select this, hit on 3. All right, then I can come back here, and as you can see, my iris on this one here, I just click there so that I can be able to see nicely what I'm doing. So maybe something like that, somewhere there. Okay. All right, so now what we are having is something that looks like that. Let me remove this. So we're having something like this, simple cartoony eye. And now all I need to do is come to these ones and add textures on them. Like this one here, I come to its color here. So just here, this one here, just come to the selected color. And I'm going to put a noise map. Some kind of a noise map over there, like that. I don't do much over here. Okay, there's a lot of settings you could play around with. But there's one particular one, which is the implode. So I'll just do that, just get the implode, and here you can see what we're having. And once I have the implode over there, I can also come down under color balance. I can change the color that we're having over here. So under the, let me see, under color gain, maybe I could decide some brown, maybe some brown eyes over there, something like that. Let me leave it at that for now. And then I could use this to go back. You see this one down here, if I click on it, it brings me back to this. So I could do the same for this one as well. Just click on this, come over here, some noise, similar, and implode. We come up here, just implode it totally. And then I come here to the color over here, and I could use the same color like that. And then I could play around with these colors and see, maybe darken these a bit slightly, somewhere there, yeah, so that I have something that looks like that. So that now my eye looks something like that. The darker areas are just too big, so I could feather them out. But for now, let me leave it at that. But you could come back here and play around with these areas, Just decide how far you want to go. You could change the colors and still give them that brown feel, but in a darker kind of away, just something like that. And then you have something that looks like that. Okay, although it has taken away from that shadow that we had over there. All right, so I won't tweak it much. I'll leave it the way it is, and move these out a bit, and this one moves somewhere there. Okay, so now with that one over there, since we're having that, and we bring this closer somewhere there and move this one in a bit. All right, so somewhere there. All right, so I'll leave it like that for now. Just leave it that way. And then I have the outer one, the one that we hid using the layers. So I'll just come and unhide the outer one, and you'll notice, well, it's poking through. So let me hit 3, and you'll notice it's poking through. So I'll just increase its size slightly. Now just like that. That is fine. And this one, now we apply existing material, the eye reflect. Now, for us to work with this one nicely, we may have to start rendering just to see the results and just work on it nicely. So first things first, with it selected, I just come to its attributes, and under Arnold, I remove opaque so that Arnold treats it as a transparent object. And then we will need some lighting for Arnold to work. So I'll just come here to Arnold and lights, sky dome light. And then I'll just come and input a HDRI image. So just come over here, 2D texture, and find yourself a nice HDRI image like this one. This is from Polyhaven. And there we are. I think I have that. That's fine. And then I'll just come down here, and I could increase the exposure a little bit if need be, just slightly. And then under visibility camera, I just put that down like that. So now, let me see, let me hide this one first just to see where my eye is looking. Just to see, yeah, eyes facing like that, that's fine. So let me unhide it, and then I click on some of the resolution gates. Yes, that is fine. Now, all I need to do is start rendering, but this one here, we have the eye reflect material over here. If you select this one, attributes, come to its attributes, eye reflect material. So we're going to be working with this. Now I'm going to come to Arnold, open the Arnold render view. Yeah, so I'm going to use this, and if I click on that, what I'm going to get is something like that. So now let me come in and start working with this one. The first thing is the base color should be black, because we need that to be totally black like that. And then specular is fine. I'll leave it as is, even the index of refraction. I know. Let me put 1.33, like the index of refraction of water. Something like that. And then I'll come to transmission over here. Under transmission, this is where now I'm going to increase this. And now the moment I do that, allow the rays go through, and then there we are. You have yourself cartoony kind of an eye over there. And